Ready? You might need to fix the. What's up, everybody?
This is how it goes.
Welcome to the show number 72, Sports Unity. It's great to be back here after my 2-week hiatus. As you see, we fixing the camera there. Let's get everything set to go. Today, we will talk with Jim Baxter. He's very well known here in South Carolina with South Carolina High School football. We also will talk about Sports Unity once again. Is it falling apart or getting back together? Then also later on the show, Christopher has his shoot around. We definitely going to talk about Omarosa and her new book, Unhinged.
Who?
Exactly.
Omarosa. We got a lot to come. Don't get ready.
Yeah, she is
Stay tuned.
unhinged.
We got a lot coming. We got a lot of hot takes for y'all today.
I got my Clemson, South Carolina prediction
I
coming up
got
on the
time
Clemson
today.
chat.
I got
She is
time today.
unhinged.
Let's go ahead and get started. Show number 72. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in tonight on our podcast on iHeartRadio and on iTunes. As you see here, I got my football gear here because it's football season. I'm coaching high school football now. But once again, thanks for tuning in on Facebook Live and such forth. On the table today, we have Gary.
Yo.
We have Wabi.
Glad to be back on the Walk-Ons.
We have Chris.
It's private.
And what's your name again?
It's been a minute.
Hello.
Opie is back on the table. What's up, Opie?
What's good, man?
First of all, we go ahead and promote our high school game day show coming up this Friday, season number 2, Fort Mill versus River Bluff.
Who's hosting? Who's hosting?
Who's hosting?
Who are they going to be listening to when they tune in?
Us.
Who, specifically who?
The high school game day show.
You're going to be listening to Gary and Robbie when you tune in
all
to
right.
this Friday.
That's right. We
Well,
got
gotta
it.
say, like,
We
who's
got
got
it.
it?
Listen, you take a 2-week break. Listen, this
Who's
is
the
how you come back.
broadcasters? You're supposed to say broadcasters,
Listen,
not who's hosting.
I say who they going to listen to.
Oh,
They're going to be listening to them. It's cool,
close
though.
enough.
You can
I got
also
you.
watch us in the pregame and postgame.
Boom.
So
There
we'll
you
be
go.
on
Look at
Facebook
that.
Live.
It's been a long time since I've done this stuff, man. So I got to get back used
It's
to
a
it.
team. We got you.
But make sure you tune in this Friday starting at 7:15 live from River Bluff High School on our Spreaker page. We're going to make sure we share it on our Facebook and on Twitter. And then also 7:30 will be the kickoff between Fort Mill and River Bluff.
It's going to be a good game.
Make sure you share all of our stuff. Make sure you comment throughout the night on our Facebook page at the Walk-Ons Radio. And then also, if you got any questions about any kind of topic we talk about, make sure you send those in. We'll be watching those tonight. I'm pretty sure everybody on this table will have an opinion about what's coming up.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, first on the pick 6. The Panthers and the Bills played preseason on their very first preseason game in the NFL. And hold on, is that my phone? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's you.
And then just like my phone just came up in my face and just started talking. Cam went to Kevin Benjamin because Kevin Benjamin said that if he was with a better QB, he'd probably been a better wide receiver. And Cam took offense to that. And then during the preseason game during the pregame before the game got started, Cam went to Kevin and confronted him and say, hey, I don't know what was said, but pretty much, hey, why you gotta say that?
And what happened? Kevin wanted none of that smoke.
Yeah, he was walking away. Yeah, he didn't want any.
None.
Walk on by.
He wanted no parts of that. You could tell in his whole body language he wasn't ready for none of that.
What's your opinion about that, Gary?
Look, Cam Newton is not accurate. He was right. He's not accurate. Over the last couple of years, out of the top QBs in the league, his completion percentage is the worst. So if it's the worst, then you're telling me you're not accurate. You're not
It's
hitting
a two-part
anyone.
problem. You can't show up at 280 pounds and say, hey, he couldn't give me the ball. You couldn't get to your spot on the route.
How can you miss a 6'5" receiver?
I'm throwing to where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be at point A. But you're not there yet because you're too big to get to point A in around the time you're supposed to be there. That's not my problem. It's not my fault.
You cannot overthrow a 6'5" receiver or throw it at his feet.
Apparently you can.
Listen.
Well, yeah, he did it.
He did it many times.
But guess what? When you're 280, you can't jump high enough to catch the ball. I'm not
Apparently you
overthrowing
can't.
you. You're not jumping.
But
I mean, I'm going to put blame on both parts.
Oh, he can't be some blame now.
Benjamin was not in shape, but when he was in shape his rookie year, he made some plays.
Shard was popping.
But look, Cam Newton is not accurate. I pulled for the guy, but he's got to get better accuracy. And I think with Norv Turner as his new OC, I think he will.
Yeah, I agree.
Next on the topic, the NBA is now considering, or the NCAA, should I say, is now considering the people who is not drafted in the NBA draft to go back to college. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? As for
Thank you, Sean Davis.
The ones who don't be going to college, i.e., the guys that were at USC almost, they could have came back to college.
Yeah.
It is a good thing or bad thing for them to, not go overseas or play for the NBA, G League or whatnot.
Right. It's great for the players, but it's going to be a big headache for the college coaches, and they're trying to finalize their roster and see how they're going to use their 13 scholarships. Or do I need to go ahead and spend that scholarship on somebody else, or should I wait and see? Maybe I get my best player back.
So more with the college than with the players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. How are you going to make a decision when you have someone who's on the fringe? And okay, I put it out there. PJ Dozier was on the fringe, whether he was going to make a team or
That's
not.
an understatement.
And so now, of course, we wanted him to come back and play one more year, get his skills up, and get a better draft position or what have you. But since he made that decision, were you going to hold a scholarship from someone else just waiting on him to decide what he's going to do?
No.
You've got to be able to move on.
I'm not worried about you. If you decide to come back, guess what? Come back and get your education. You do that. I'm not holding a scholarship for you just in case you may come back.
But what's going to stop that person if they say, okay, this is what we're going
Shad,
to
you
do?
gotta relax.
And now you're
relax, bro.
here at South Carolina, and yes, technically we would want him back, but what's going to stop him from going to Auburn or Alabama or one of these other schools who would say, oh, you all don't want him back? You all didn't save a scholarship for him? We will take
But
him.
it's the same concept. If he would have went to the league, like he still lost. We lost that player. I would still continue suit like it's been. You're gone. I move on. So if you go to another school, guess what? It's the same concept if you would have went to the league. I don't have you back anymore.
But you're helping your rivals. You are giving them, and again, he was, for me now, granted, he's had more than a cup of coffee in the league. OKC called him up, put him on a two-way contract. But I'm just saying, were to come back and you say as USC, we don't have a scholarship for you, you need to move on somewhere else. And he decides, I'm moving on to Auburn. I'm moving on to Georgia, who's in your league. And they say, oh, we got a scholarship
as
for
a
you.
coach, do you not have a conversation with this player like, listen, I know you want to go to the league and people are telling you you can, but I feel like you should stay and work on your skill set some more. And he says he's still going to go to the league anyway, and then it doesn't work out. Now, if I've already had the conversation with you, guess what? What you want me to do?
I just see NCAA.
But you're helping another team, though.
It's one of those things.
Look, you're the basketball guy. What do you think? If by doing that, I think he's helping another team.
No, not really. I mean, it's all about yourself because you think about it. At the end of the day, what are they getting? NCAA pretty much is governing board. They're judge and jury. They pretty much threw the NCAA Coaches Association on the bus because months prior to this, they said they didn't want anything to do with it. Report say. So now you got them as the forefront of we're gonna let you handle it. You mean? So at the end of the day, it's about what's best for you. And you're right. As a coaching staff, do you hold up? Unfortunately, he's the best player, so you're in limbo. So you kind of torn.
Yes.
As a coaching staff and coach, and he's a good player, so you don't want. It's like he's a good dude. He's a good player. And you kind of in limbo, and you don't want to lose him if he comes back. Now that's in there. Now that's tricky waters. So now you go over. So you ain't hold my scholarship. So going forward, and fortunately, this is not going to happen next year. This is something that's going to be looked at, studied, and coaches and everybody else get a chance because now the NCAA has to see if they're going to be able to certify these agents, and then the agents. So right now it's just
some loopholes.
Yeah, it's hypothetical.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. See, I see a difference. I see a difference in this than in college football. For instance, you have the fifth-year guys who can transfer to another school and play right away. Those guys have gotten their education, and maybe they were on the fringe of being an NFL player or not. But now, okay, you've used up them for 4 years. Have at it. Move on. This guy's coming in, maybe he's only been here a year, and now you're saying move on. You're moving him to another competitor who's going to hurt you when you're out there trying to win championships. Some coaches' jobs will be on the line.
Yeah, there's a lot of information that's already out there. The way they're doing it now, only 69 or so players get invited to the combine. So, if you don't get invited to the combine, chances are you're not going to get drafted because only 60 players are drafted. So they've got a lot of information that they're providing these players with already. So they should be able to make a choice.
But who? Because let's think about it. It comes down to where you getting your information from. Who's telling you what? Because if you're not in those talks, and there's only a certain handful of coaches that's in these talks. I mean, let's be honest. You got Cal, you got coach, Cade,
Yeah.
Bay. You got very few
Good talking.
coaches that can honestly say, okay, my guy's going, see what you can do. My guy's coming out and disrupt whatever they got going on. Some of these guys, they're trying to push AAU out. I mean, so right now it's just it's all over the place. They're just trying to get control over taking the money or taking the control out of the shoe company, which is it. Because if a kid got a shoe contract, 9 times out of 10 they get drafted. They lottery. No matter what you say, they go in. It's
The writing's on the wall. You know
so
they're going.
whether you go to school, unless you do something astronomical, you're not disrupting what's already been put in place. That's a plan that's above what people see. We can talk about it. We can put our spin on it. The media can do whatever it want. It's real as that paper with their name on it. It's the done deal.
It's not going to change.
The order might change. However, they said all this about Michael Porter Jr. I sat here and said he's a draft pick. Well, he's a draft pick because no matter what you say, how you feel, what you think, it's been done. He's been in the McDonald's, whatever. He's been ranked. It's done. The whoever need to see him has already seen him.
So his path has basically been laid for him. Like,
so
he just
for
has to
these other
continue on
guys
down.
that's fighting for this position, it just comes down to this: who are taking care of the kids? At the end of the day, when you own, nobody talk. They talk about everything, but not the right thing. Who got the rights to these kids? I played on TV for 4 years. That's royalty. If anybody on TV, what we doing? What we trying to get sponsorship? You're on TV for 4 years. How many games? I played 28, 30, 32 games a year. Where's that money? Where's that money going? Who's getting that money? Who's allocated that money? It's in this. I'm just a small piece.
So are you saying it's a waste of time for them to be doing this?
I mean, speak. Always speak. Tell people how you feel, what you feel. But at the end of the day, what is it changing? I always say, if you're marching, is it changing or what are you doing?
True. When we come back, we'll talk about our first topic: sports unity. Is sports unified? Is it getting better or is it falling apart?
We're going to talk about the right way and the wrong way.
So stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons, everybody.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this when you're going to have so many schools in limbo. And like you said, Robert, there's only 60 slots out there or what have you for folks to be drafted. Right. And then you're going to have all of these kids declaring. What's going to stop you now when you think, okay, I'm a fringe player, I'm only averaging 6 or 7 points, but they might see some potential in me. Let me go ahead and throw my name in the hat.
Look at the overall. Who is trying to save face right now? Because whose credibility and product is getting hurt right now with the one and done. Let's look at. Okay, let's take a step back and look at what's really being hurt. It's the NCAA.
Right. Right.
The brand of the NCAA is being hurt.
David.
So you have to do something to get your brand. You're losing one and done so the NBA is okay. They'll figure something out.
Well, you think they can say something like, okay, South Carolina, let's say PJ Dozier does leave. Okay, you can fill that scholarship, but we're going to give you one additional scholarship to replace him.
I think it's just more so, it's just it's for the overall brand. South Carolina's just in the conference. You see what I'm saying? So it's just for overall.
They're good with this one.
Oh, yeah.
And let's continue watching the brand. Let the brand grow. NCAA, let that brand. Football, playoffs.
Yeah, because I mean, I see what you're saying. If somebody's only there one year, unless they're a household name like a Zion that's out there now or what have you, you can't build a rapport with that person if you're a fan. Sendarius was there 4 years. Everybody in Columbia knew Sendarius. You know, he'd build himself up. But these one and done players, you don't know them, and that's what, like you said, is hurting the NCAAs. They want to go back to the thing when Duke was playing for championships, Carolina, Syracuse. You knew 4 or 5 of those players. You basically knew their entire starting lineup. Now, Kentucky, that 1 year when they had John Wall and all of those guys, I can venture to say after that,
DeMarcus Cousins.
I couldn't say 1 or 2 players on Kentucky.
Well, they get a new team.
They get a new team every
don't
year.
know, man, I keep telling people, basketball world in South Carolina is so small versus the world outside of what in the nation. Well, I know them players, the Knoxes and all. You know, they're already known. South Carolina's a small market when it comes to basketball. Great talent, great bed of talent, but so many. I got pulled out. There's so many guys that get pulled out that you
Jawan
never.
Gary got pulled out.
So it goes. Tevin Max. It goes without saying. Home products get pulled out, and we're such a small state. So how do you? It goes to a bigger picture. Like if you're not, are you South Carolina known? We used to always say this amongst our friends. Are you South Carolina known? Or are you nationally known? It's a big difference because what goes on in South Carolina doesn't go on. The rest of the world keeps it moving.
Yeah.
True. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Of course, that topic from Pick Six extended to our first topic. But once again, if you want to be part of our show or, comment throughout the night, make sure you send your comments throughout the night on Facebook and on Twitter. And then also make sure you find us on Instagram and Snapchat and our podcast on iHeartRadio and on iTunes. Remember, this Friday, we'll have High School Game Day live from River Bluff High School on Spreaker. So make sure you tune in on Friday night as Fort Mill will be taking on River Bluff. Let's get to our very first topic. I was looking at TV over the weekend, and Tiger Woods, he's making his comeback here and there somewhat. Still struggling here and there, but he is getting better. And I was also watching First Take on ESPN. Stephen made a comment saying that the way that people was actually cheering him on and all that good stuff, it showed like a lot of unity in sports. As for black people and white people and Asian people and everybody in that sport were just cheering Tiger on. And it goes to the point where he said something like that was sort of missing over the years. As for what's been going on lately with 45 making a statement about NFL players, the recent tweets of baseball players from the past just not coming to the light. You got stuff here and there affecting the sports world. As for, if you don't stand for a national anthem, you don't belong on the field and stuff like that and so forth and so forth. So it's the stuff that's going on now actually helping bring sports together, people together to show unity, or is it falling apart?
Yes and no.
Well, I think in Tiger's case, it's like a lot of athletes or a lot of superstar athletes. They love you at the beginning. They might not like you as much in the middle. He had his off the golf course issues. They didn't love him quite as much, but now they know how many more chances he's going to have to win a major. So the roar is back, like the Masters roar, like some of the loudest roars you've ever heard in golf were him, when he was dominating, winning by 12 strokes or whatever.
High too.
Yeah. So I think.
Well, everybody likes to come back, but I think in that instance, he was a transcendent and still is a transcendent person. He crossed all types of lines. It did not matter. He brought a lot of people into golf who weren't golfing fans. And by doing that, there was a whole generation of players. You look at the younger players now who won these majors, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. They were kids when Tiger Woods was winning these majors. And their parents brought them into golf, but when they were younger, they were pulling for Tiger Woods. Now they're like, hey, we get the opportunity to play against this guy. And now with him coming back, his skills coming back, his back is healthy now. Like, we might get a chance to play against him when he's good again.
I say next year probably be even better.
Next season's going to be good for him. As long as he doesn't get any other injuries, next season should be really good for him.
And America likes to come back.
That was a great series.
Oh, but what do you think about that?
I'm just glad he's not getting ran over and thrown clubs at. I'm just happy for the brother, man. He's swinging and back looks strong.
That's true, Brad.
Top of his head, you looking old.
Well, you got the
just shave it.
Just stress.
So just shave it. Yeah, that's what I do.
I pull for him, and golf really misses him.
Really shame.
Golf as the whole misses Tiger because everybody watches Tiger. Everybody. So with him back, it just with that, or maybe could he? It's like So that's good for golf, and I watch golf just to see them say, "Oh, here comes Tiger," and you get. So.
Well, I can admit when I found out Tiger was either 4th place, 3rd place in the PGA Championship, I was interested to see what he was going to do. I kept track of the standings. I kept track of live streaming and such forth, and knowing that I'm not a big person in golf itself, like if Tiger's not playing, hey, if not VJ Singh either, We haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, you still remember him?
BJ Singh, and then also in tennis, you got Serena. So
Let's not go there today.
Gary, what you
Oh,
got to say
I'm going there today. But no, she won her match last
Wow.
night. She won her match last night. She's playing up in Cincinnati right now and beat Kawarlova.
The
6-1, 6-2.
She's got a commercial out where she's running,
So
trying to get in
she's-
shape.
Try to show proof,
She's
huh?
heard you, Gary. She heard
What
you.
I was trying to say, Chris, was that she still had one major left. The U.S. Open is coming up, starting at the end of the month into September, and she had enough time to get in shape. So I said, Serena, go for it. I'm pulling
But
for you.
Serena's not really out of shape though. She still got her
Marcus.
abs and stuff. She
Listen.
got her thighs, legs, arms for
Now,
sure.
even she said she had the baby weight going on. That may have
Knees
been
and
part of
toes,
it too
knees and
now.
toes.
and toes.
Now, she running in the commercial. You can't be out here like Khaled.
Megan,
Khaled
I
out here with
hope
Weight
I-
Watchers, but ain't lost no weight.
Megan, I
Can't be
didn't
out here
start
like
this. I did not start this. But I'm just saying she's getting in better shape, and the better shape she's in, she's going to have a better chance of winning this tournament.
Careful
Now-
what you say.
As far as the wrong way to do unity in sports,
Uh-huh.
aside from the president and all his comments and all that, that's the wrong way to do it. So Will Muschamp and his commentary in support of the Maryland coach.
Oh yeah, we supposed to talk about that in pick 6.
Oh, yeah, we was.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of got stuck, but
We'll
circle back to that.
Yeah, we'll circle back. to
Yeah,
that.
we need to.
That is,
We don't need to
we
circle back.
No, we do need to
Oh,
circle
yeah.
back.
We need to circle back.
Yes.
When we come back, we're gonna talk to Jim Baxter. We're gonna talk about the South Carolina high school football season coming up. If you're watching the show right now, we're
Sorry,
gonna talk about
Shannon.
your team, River Bluff High School, Fort Mill. If you're watching, I'm pretty sure we'll have a lot to talk about them. So stay tuned right here on the Walk-On.
So what happened?
One of the players died. They said that Maryland head coach and the trainers was like,
Strength and
pretty much-
conditioning coach,
Hello.
and trainers.
Hey Jim,
Hey man, how's it going?
doing good. We about to get started. We about to come back from commercial break. All right.
All right, all right, all right.
Sounds good.
You gonna learn today, David. You gonna learn
How
today,
you
David.
been, man? It's been a while since we talked
Ain't
to you.
hear nothing you saying.
Been a while.
Oh yeah. You ready for the upcoming season?
Shoot, I've been ready, man. I've been ready since it ended.
That's what's up.
Oh yeah. Welcome to the Quiet Storm. I'm DJ Buddy Rose.
Really.
Bro, I'm out.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Once again, follow us on our social media on Facebook and on Twitter. And visit us on our Snapchat, Instagram, all that good stuff. And then also, you'll see on the other side of the screen, you have the iHeartRadio, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So make sure you
Uh-huh.
find us on there.
Oh,
And then also, make sure you tune in this Friday, the High School Game Day Show.
go
We'll be
Marcus.
broadcasting
Go
live
Marcus.
from River Bluff High School as Fort Mill will be taking on the River Bluff Gators. Broadcast starts at 7:15, and the kickoff will begin at 7:30. So make sure, once again, you tune in Friday night on our Spreaker page. We will make sure we share the link on our Facebook and our Twitter, or simple enough, just go to our Spreaker page at High School Game Day, and you can listen to the broadcast from there. On the phone, we have a well-known person here in South Carolina and also around the Southeast probably with high school football. We talked with him last year. He's a great friend to the show. Jim Baxter. Jim, how you feeling,
Welcome,
man?
welcome, welcome,
Jim.
welcome,
Doing
welcome.
good, guys. How you doing?
Nestro.
Doing good,
All
man.
right.
Hey, just to give you an update, I am now coaching at Westwood High School.
Okay.
And I know we got the Cam Smith situation about where he gonna be going to. He's gonna make his decision on Friday after the
Okay.
game if we win.
If we win. Okay.
So just to let you know that I am now there coaching at Westwood High School. So
Strength and conditioning.
no, not no strict condition.
So he want no part.
So he'll be pumping you for info on all his opponents this year.
Yeah, I will be texting and say, hey, what do you think about this opponent coming up? Blackwood and all of them. So, Coach, tell me about, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about Westwood, since I am coaching there. Tell me what you think about Westwood High School coming up, their upcoming football season.
I think they're going to be, one of the better teams in the Midlands. I held reserved a little bit when I did the preseason rankings about 8 weeks ago, but after watching them, I think they're a team that's probably going to be a lot like last year. They're going to put up a lot of points, probably move the ball well through the air, and we'll see. It's going to be a tough year. I mean, they've got a lot of tough competition. That region's not an easy region to play in, but I think they're going to be an improved football team.
All right, Jim, this is Robbie. I had a chance to take in the Irmo scrimmage Friday, and Chapin scrimmage or jamboree on Saturday. So a couple questions from those games. Swansea, I thought, looked good under even without Coach Wright and without Greg Williams. Ran it up 21-0 over RNE. That pretty much expected, though, that RNE may struggle a little bit this year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're talking about a team that only returned 2 or 3 starters, and so they're young, and young coaching staff as well. And I think that they're again in a tough region. So this is a team that's probably going to struggle in 2018, and it could turn. I mean, they got to mature a lot of kids really quick if they're going to be competitive.
Right, and he did say he would have a bunch of stars back next year, so he kind of pointing for next year, I guess. But also, Gray Collegiate 14-0 over Fairfield Central in 2 quarters of play. I really like Hunter Helms. He looked good throwing the football.
Yeah, Hunter's a good quarterback. He spins the ball well. He's got a strong arm, probably as strong as most of the quarterbacks in the state in his class. Gray is a team that I think is going to have to get better on the offensive line. But right now, I think this is a team that should win their region, and they'll be competitive.
Got to try to keep pace with that basketball team, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be that strong, but Dion's got a pretty good program over there.
No doubt. All right, and Dutch Fork, of course, man, I was just really surprised to see how well they looked clicking on all cylinders. They blocked the punt, returned it. They Olenchik, the starting quarterback, looked good driving them down the field. The backup quarterback drove them right down the field, and then Ridgeview's not too bad, and they just romped them 28-0. So Dutch Fork is looking. They probably their toughest test of the season coming up this week when they play Mallard Creek.
Ooh.
Well, I think that first of all, on the matchup that they had, I think that this was Dutch Fork has probably got. Tom's got probably the best team he's had since he's been at Dutch Fork. And certainly, he's got back his weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Solid wide receivers. Got Ron Hoff back. If he remains healthy, your quarterback, Ty Olenchik's a good quarterback, but he doesn't have to be that great with the weapons he's got around him. He's got a good offensive line with 5 starters if you count the tight ends back. And they're going to be solid on defense. And, you mentioned the game with Mallard Creek. That's my game of the week this week. Mallard Creek, of course, had a really good season last year. They were 14-1, undefeated in regular season. They lost in the state championship game. Dutch Fork 13-1. They won the 5A state championship here. So it's going to be good. I think that Mallard Creek has got an impressive lineup. They've got some good starters back. They've got a Division I quarterback. They've got a major prospect on the offensive line, and it's going to be interesting.
All right, and also Irmo finished the night off with an impressive 21-6 win over Airport. I think Irmo is going to be stronger this year, from what I can tell. What did you think about Irmo?
Well, I think Irmo's got a chance to be real competitive. They're in a tough region, and I think that they've got the quarterback back. This is Reggie's second year with a same quarterback under his belt at Irmo, so that's going to help him. They're big. If you saw them, then you realize that they're huge up front. I think that they're probably a little small in stature at the wide receiver position. I think they've got to get better. Of course, they got Kendall Flowers running the football, but I think they've got to get better at throwing the football. I'm not sure their passing game is as efficient as they would like for it to be, but I think if they can improve that, they're certainly going to be a competitive football team.
Okay, and Airport and Lexington, I saw those guys go after it. They were both wearing blue, so it was kind of hard to watch. But Airport Airport did finally connect. Their quarterback hit. Brandon Kaufman hit Nanders Lawrence for a 58-yard touchdown. But I thought Airport had a pretty good quarterback, but the receivers weren't helping him out too much until that one long touchdown. So what do you think about Airport?
I think Airport is probably going to struggle in the region that they're in. I think, it's a tough region. You got North Augusta and South Aiken, Brooklyn, Casey, all in that region. And, I look at Airport right now as, I think they're better than Aiken, and I think they're better than Midland Valley. I think they're a team that can actually finish fourth in that region. But I just don't think they're going to finish above that. The Lexington scrimmage, I don't put a lot of weight in Jamboree play anyway, but I certainly don't put as much weight in that scrimmage because Lexington's two best players, their quarterback, Cal Herndon, and their linebacker, David Cromer, who's committed to South Carolina in baseball. Neither one of those kids played because they had played in a baseball game earlier in the day, and Coach Woolbright just didn't let them play. So,
okay. Jim, this is Gary. I got a question. Okay, last year, LR here in the Midlands surprised a lot of people. Who's a team here that may be in the Midlands who you think can pull off something like LR did last year?
I think Westwood is a team that you could consider. I guess you could call them a sleeper. I mean, I think they're going to be a team that can sneak up on some people because they've got the ability to score points, and I think they're probably going to be just like you kind of fooled me in the preseason. I think they're better than a lot of people are going to think they are. I think Blythewood is a team after the terrible season they had last year. I've seen them a couple times, and this is a team that could really be good. They got Quentin Patton back at quarterback, and he's on my All-Midlands team. He's one of my two quarterbacks on the All-Midlands team, and I think that he is a difference maker. And defensively, they're going to be strong. I like what I've seen of them. They're strong up front. They got some good linebackers. Patrick Godbolt may be the most underrated player in the Midlands, and they got a couple of cornerback or defensive backs that I like.
Gotcha. All right, High School Game Day Show will be broadcast live once again from River Bluff High School as Fort Mill will be taking on River Bluff. Game starts at 7:30. We'll be broadcasting live from 7:15. Jim, who's your pick for that one for Fort Mill and River Bluff?
Man, I don't know. I'm going to go with River Bluff in it. I like the Walker kid at running back, and I like what they've got on defense. I don't think I think both of those teams are going to struggle this year, though.
I got you. Jim, thanks for calling in, man. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Jim.
you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I thought it was the Swamp Pumps.
No, not
Swamp
that.
Mumps. Swamp Possums. River Dragons.
Nah.
River Dragons.
Swamp Pump.
Gators. The Gators.
Nice stadium, though.
That guy has a lot of passion when it comes to arguing rap.
See, I needed to ask him about C.E. Murray. We're going to roll this
So
year.
C.A. Johnson won the championship this year?
No.
Football?
C.A. Johnson? No, I said C.E. Murray.
They definitely ain't doing that.
Definitely not C.A. Johnson. No offense to all the C.A. Johnson in London.
How Eau Claire look? Anybody know how Eau Claire look?
As bad as C.A. Johnson.
You know saying or you just being funny?
Shout out to the Sean Walks out there.
Shout out to Eau Claire, my guy out there, Bull running things, head coach.
Well, what's the over-under for Eau Claire and C.A. Johnson?
I said over 3. So 4.
This
Somebody's
your
gotta
man, Buddy
win.
Roll.
That's the good news.
Jelly sandwich.
It's time to shoot around here. Okay. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. We'd like to thank Jim Bassett for calling in. Talk about the high school season coming up around the Midlands and also around the state. Once again, find us on our Facebook and on Twitter at the Walk-Ons Radio. And also throughout the night, you can still comment about any topic or any suggestions or questions. Make sure you send those in. We promise everybody on the table will either question you or answer the question itself also.
Yes.
So make sure,
I'm questioning people.
I know people will. So make sure you keep us in those in. We still got plenty of time. It's now time for our shoot around.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
This
is.
has numerous topics to talk about.
Oh, we got one in particular. But I'm gonna start off real quick and get the light stuff out the way.
Shannon, you on here? I hope so.
Yeah, Shannon, please tell me you're tuned in. Tammy, if you can tune in, listen. All right,
Uh-oh.
really quickly.
Really quickly.
I got one thing from Power.
Okay.
The only thing that you need to know about this week: the lawyer left Tasha. She was cheating on Ghost with the lawyer. She showed up to the place. He done cleaned up all the stuff, moved out, left a sticky note, said, "I'm out. Here's your money back," and gone. Listen,
He ghosted.
brought joy to my heart. That's all you need to know about.
He lived up to his name.
Moving on. Nicki Minaj dropped that album. It's called Queen. It's number 1 in 65 countries. So she beat Cardi, who had the record at 62. I'm gonna
They
say
should
this.
just get 3 of these little countries to like buy 1 or 2.
I'm about to get to that.
Hey,
So
can you buy me a CD?
listen.
Buy my CD.
Who use CDs anyway?
As an album,
I do for
it's-
Friskies.
It's better than her last effort, the Pink Print,
Decoration.
but it's nowhere near her Pink Friday album, which is like her peak. That was her version of Take Care.
I ain't know
That's
she
the one that
used
Safari wrote.
Safari wrote most of all her stuff until the Pink Print, in my opinion. But anyway, that's when it was actually good music. But hey, it's neither here nor there. She does a lot more singing on this than anything else. I give it 7 out of 10.
Ooh, that's kind of.
She had the one track where she was fake dissing everybody that she's friends with. So I mean,
She got friends in it.
listen, clearly not, because
I was gonna speak on the. I was
way
gonna
she
speak on
going
the
off
disc
to-
that she went off. She went off on Safari like real,
she went on Safari and DJ Self today.
like real, like she. Went
She
real,
ain't been listening to Lil Duval song "Smile." She clearly can't. She's going back and forth with these dudes.
When it didn't Flex diss her like a year ago saying
Flex
how,
done this her a couple times. She
how she
went
don't
on his
write?
platform to go ahead and
Diss-
talk about
this the guy that got her
Yeah,
where she's at.
yeah. It's
Okay.
It's kind of how it went. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean,
We tired of Nicki.
Nicki Minaj album.
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be buying that.
She's 36 and still doing all this extra stuff.
She's
like she did when
36?
Listen, listen. Joe Budden told y'all.
Mm.
We need to start checking on her mental.
Chris, I need to get this
health.
Omarosa book. I tired of
I
Nicki Minaj.
know. I had to get that out there for the people. I got to give
I
them what
need
they
to
need.
get this Omarosa book.
Now it's time for Omarosa.
Let me introduce this topic.
Oh.
All right. So, Omarosa, the well-known, unlike African American woman in our culture, everybody don't like Omarosa. She released a book called Unhinged. If y'all remember, she's the infamous person to be on The Apprentice, and also was at the White House as a White House staffer.
Fired 3 times on The Apprentice and once in the White House.
3
You know,
times.
fired again. And then she said that leaving the White House, she said that she's gonna make a book, and she did. And it's called Unhinged. And in the book, you know, she claims that Trump was a racist, or is a racist. She also claimed that he used the N-word in some meetings.
But didn't she claim that he wasn't a racist, like when she first started his job?
She said that you should bow down to Trump whenever you get a chance.
Didn't she go to that conference for black journalists and say that he's not a racist and they're not giving him a fair shot?
Stormed out the conference, by the way.
Okay. Didn't we cancel her at one point?
We sure did.
She got
She
uninvited
got,
from the
she got
cookout.
traded. She got traded.
Yeah.
So now, is she saying she's unhinged or he's unhinged?
Both.
That's what I need to know.
It's both.
I mean, this looking at, you know, who in the African American community is going to actually listen to her about what she is saying.
Comedians.
The Herman Cains of the world.
Comedians.
Herman Cain's, I forgot about Herman Cain. by the way.
Exactly.
He had his 15 minutes.
What's the
didn't
guy? What's the guy on CNN that everybody don't like? The
Don Lemon.
rights. The black guy with the head.
Don Lemon?
No, they like Don. But no, the other guy. I can't think.
A black male?
Yeah.
On CNN?
It's kind of like Paris. Paris Denard.
Oh, listen. Oh, where's Ham at? I need Ham to be on this episode. Paris Nard is trash.
Listen,
He'll
guys,
listen- he'll listen
you
to
guys are not giving. You guys are not giving Trump his fair share. Look, I understand that what he's doing. He's done so much for the. What do you mean he hasn't done anything for the community? He's done everything for the community.
About that. But yeah, she released a book, and you know, it's gonna be kind of hard for.
Did you read it?
No.
No.
I just
You
heard
plan on reading it?
excerpts. No.
I'm planning on using it.
Just get me the cliff notes. That's all I need to know. Just the good stuff.
I plan on using it. I plan on throwing it in the trash.
Oh, use it as fire for the winter months coming up.
You know it.
But that was my part on that one. All right, Chris, you go back on that one. Shoot around.
Oh, y'all are done with Omarosa?
Yeah, I know Omarosa. You got something to say about Omarosa?
You only can play with
So
trash.
he
so
called
long.
her a dog.
Oh yeah, about that now.
So I mean,
So now Trump.
how does that work out for the American public?
First, he called her a lowlife, and then in a tweet, of course, you know he'll care what he says in his tweets. Call her a lowlife and a dog. Now, I understand, you know, Omarosa is not the most well-liked person in the world
Yes, sir.
on both sides. Let's just use the words Trump. Both sides do not like Omarosa. I don't know. It's look. It's gonna be kind of hard to believe what she is saying or what she wants to.
She worked for
us to
Trump.
believe.
She worked
Yeah.
for Trump. And you support
And she just
you
upset
defended.
because she got fired.
So it's at some point we go. Mental patient works with mental patient.
And let me just say this, by the way. I'm pretty sure what Trump said today is not as bad as what other people have said about Omarosa.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
I
That's
think,
not the
do
worst
anybody not know that Trump is not a racist at this point in time?
I have no idea. All I do know is
All I'm saying is this: bring their receipts. If you got their receipts,
she said she got the
said she
tape.
got
she
video
says
recording.
she says she's got them.
Put the tapes out here.
Then put them
Now,
out.
If she do got them tapes that said that stuff, then we can say, okay, I'm on something.
Listen,
We still not gonna say it. By that we
You
just
can
gonna
put
be like,
your
oh well.
toe in the door. but don't
Then,
walk
then
in.
we'll go. Well, you wanted it.
That's what she wanted. So
she said
hey,
that's what she wanted.
that's how I feel about the thing. Let's finish the pick six because I really want to finish what was on the table.
We're gonna talk about Maryland.
We're gonna talk about Maryland right quick. Let's try to do 1 minute for each one. Kansas State, Coach Snyder, he's 78 on AARP. Got a 5-year
5-year
deal to stay with the football team. Will he survive 5 more years?
Yep.
He wants
Oh,
to
yeah.
position it so he can get his son to take over.
Yep.
That's what he's trying to live. Hang in there long enough until they say, okay, your son can take over. Which he may pull a move like in August, go ahead and resign
And still get paid.
and say, oh, it's too close to the
He might pull a
season to go
Steve
out and do
Spurrier.
a real search, and you're gonna have to give it to my
You
son.
might pull a
He's
Steve,
next in line.
Spurrier.
Just dip out.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll stay on. He'll stay on.
You said that about Steve.
I'm talking about maybe next year or 2 years down the road.
He'll leave once he signed a contract.
True. Ole Miss, they have once again a new mascot. They went from the Rebel to the Bear, and now
The
introducing
Land
the Land Shark Tony.
All right.
A shark is not a mascot for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Where's
right.
Mississippi?
It's between Alabama and New Orleans, right?
and Louisiana.
It's
Louisiana.
somewhere.
That's the
Oh,
state.
it's
You know what
somewhere.
I mean.
Listen, it's somewhere.
Then also in Maryland,
Looks like
offensive lineman, he died of heat stroke, and now they are blaming the strength condition coach and also the head coach for running a toxic, in quotes, toxic program.
Well, no, Will
Yeah,
Muschamp said he says otherwise.
What coach must
He supports him. Hold on, pull that exact. I wanted to get the exact statement from
Let's
that.
see, we got time to say that. Blames alarming Maryland football report on gutless former coaches and lousy players.
Really?
Tell them how you feel, Coach.
So what kind of program are you running? Because see, when you make statements like this, and you
well,
side with something.
he
after someone
backed that up a
dies-
little bit yesterday after I'm sure he talked with Ray Tanner
Yeah.
and said, we can't be going off like this. We need to
He
be
said,
respectful.
Because
A
when somebody
person died
dies,
out there.
they're investigating that. So you come out talking about, oh, this. Okay, now let's look into your program.
I'm not gonna say exactly what Deadspin said. Deadspin used cuss words in their articles, but in Muschamp words, he said that there's no credibility in anonymous sources. I think it's gutless.
Anonymous. Yep.
Or anonymous.
Okay.
So, yeah, Coach Muschamp. And where else will somebody make a comment?
Tell them why you
Than
mad.
right here in South Carolina. In
course
South
it's
Carolina
not.
Gamecock.
Though he's been using himself as an anonymous source at times.
Yeah, I know. So, when we come back, we'll have Food Tripping and the Clemson chat. So make sure you stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons, everybody.
You
South
come
Carolina
on back. Come on
prediction.
back.
Well, somebody had to fall on the sword, so I guess
South
it was
Carolina
a strength
go
and conditioning
0 and
coach.
11.
But that's not going to save Dirk, and Dirk is still going to
South
be
Carolina go
gone.
0 and 11.
Yeah, I got him
Tough
about
minded
8 and
coach.
4, but
8 and 4.
Yeah.
there's still some separation between them and Georgia and Clemson. There.
Yeah, all right.
6 and 6. 6 and 6. Muschamp pull a hamstring on the sideline.
Sarah talking about she wanted land sharks so she could take him for walks.
I think that's something we talk about as a staff a lot.
Here's Coach Muschamp.
And there's a certain way you can talk to a young man and about how he's playing and what he needs to do to improve. You know what? I know DJ Durkin. He worked for me for 4 years at the University of Florida. He is an outstanding football coach.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Florida University is also where we had what's my guy that killed people and then killed himself recently? He went to jail.
Hernandez.
We had quite a few people at Florida University.
Yo, welcome to Butter My Road radio station.
I'm just saying, when you see the kid out there struggling or what have you, and the other players are saying, Coach, something is going on here. The body temperature for that kid was 106 degrees. Okay, something was going on. He's struggling. Somebody needed to be on watch for that. So
I'm telling you right now, players
I
ain't
said
gonna
that
send up because we ain't
whole-
trying to get in trouble.
that whole staff needs to go.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, how are you going to go recruit with all that on your plate?
Yeah, what parent is going to release their child to
Yeah.
come there?
Yeah.
That's going to be hard, especially what's going on now in Maryland with Coach Durkin and them.
Yeah.
Because all that's going to be
You mean the ex-coach Durkin, right?
Ex-coach Durkin.
Soon to be ex-coach Durkin.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Once again, follow us on our social media and our. Let me start that again. Follow us on our social media and our podcast at Facebook and Twitter, and also iHeartRadio and iTunes.
There you go. You got it.
This week, we have the Clemson chat, and we are finally at the week where South Carolina is being mentioned by Walk-Ons.
Yes.
Hey,
I'm not watching this one.
Let's know I got my gunshots ready.
all right.
And
Wow.
each lie he says, it's gonna be a gunshot. All right, here we go.
That is a terrible.
I'm Robbie Kiner with this week's Clemson Chat. Today we'll take a look at Clemson's final opponent of the regular season, the South Carolina Gamecocks. They travel to the Valley on November the 24th. You'll remember their last trip to the Valley, the Tigers curb stomped the Gamecocks by a final count of 56-7. The Tigers jumped out to a 35-0 halftime lead, thanks in part to Mike Williams' 3 touchdown receptions. Of course, the most memorable one had to be the "he gave that chicken a ride" play, as Jamarcus King hopped on his back and he got a free ride to the end zone from 8 yards out. Last season, the Tigers led it 34-0 heading into the fourth quarter. They put in some reserves and were able to hold on and cruise to a 34-10 win. The Gamecocks did manage a 9-4 season last year with an Outback Bowl victory over the Michigan Wolverines. They returned 8 starters offensively and 5 starters defensively. Jake Bentley returns. The junior quarterback's in his 3rd year as a starter, and he'll have the luxury of throwing it to Deebo Samuel. Deebo went out in the Kentucky game last year with an injury. He's back to provide a threat as a receiver and a return man. They do lose the services of Hayden Hurst. The tight end was a valuable weapon for their attack on offense. Last year, he went as a first-round pick to the Baltimore Ravens. New offensive coordinator Brian McClendon takes over as play caller, and they promise a more up-tempo attack this season. We'll see if Will Muschamp is able to make good on that promise, or will he be over there like the driver's ed teacher tapping on the driver's ed car brake, trying to slow things down for the offense to get some more rest for his defense. Speaking of the defense, they're led by DJ and TJ. DJ Wanham at defensive end and TJ Brunson at linebacker. They do lose 3 of 4 starters in the secondary. Clemson will be looking for their 5th straight win in the rivalry, their 70th win overall, which would make them plus 28 in the overall series. And I predict they will do just that. Join us Tuesday night for the Walk-Ons and next week for more Clemson Chat.
All right.
Yo, I need
There
more
you heard it.
gunshots. I need some more gunshots. Robbie was firing off.
Now look, that's about the only
Reality.
team that you all will be playing this year.
That's not the longest
So-
video
At
ever.
Texas A&M,
At Texas
at
A&M.
Florida State will be tougher matchup.
Florida State.
It's not about.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not about your schedule. It's about winning what's on your schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see Alabama again in
Winning
college
what's on
football
your
playoffs.
schedule.
I'll
We'll
do
see
y'all
who's
go
better
there.
then.
You will not make it to the college football playoffs.
I'm gonna say this right here on the show.
wow.
Let's go ahead and mark this show. I think Clemson's gonna be a bust
Wow.
this year.
Okay.
This could very well be the best team of all of them, even better
A
than
bust.
the national championship
They will
team.
be a bust.
Mark
Are
my
y'all saying
words.
that because South Carolina gonna suck? Or
No, we'll be better.
Clemson will
Watch.
be a bust.
Wow.
Let's watch this.
are both of them gonna be like 4-8, and that's gonna be like the biggest game when South
I
Carolina?
don't think that's gonna happen. They a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and play the food trip. And this week, Christopher is on my side of town in Lexington, South Carolina. Let's go ahead and show food trip.
Yes. All right, folks, it's your man, Cali Chris, and this week we are at Stella's at Arcos. They got a bunch of great Caribbean jerk shrimp. They got some amazing ribeyes, burgers. They got all kind of good food, and they have a rooftop bar area. We're going to cover it all right here this week on Food Tripping.
Tripping, make sure you tune in this week.
Yes, this Thursday.
Like, got some good food, by the way. Chris, tell them
Listen.
about it.
They fed us a lot.
Tell 'em,
Shout
Cal.
out to Stella.
Tell
Shout out
her,
to
Callie.
everybody there. Both the chefs. Shout out to y'all. Listen,
Tell him, Ray.
we got some fried cheesecake in there.
Fried cheese.
Listen, we got ribeyes with baby portobellos. We got a California burger. We got a couple other things I'm not gonna tell you about. Just make sure you tune in. Listen, we ate really good.
Hey man, when you gonna invite me out, man, so I can get some of that
Listen. If you want to be on Food Tripping, just inbox me directly.
I'm sitting here.
Because I got a guest coming this Saturday.
No,
I can't tell you who's gonna be yet. Hey, she gonna be on this one? Yeah. When you want to be on?
I'm ready, man.
Next time we shoot one, you ready?
I just want to eat. I just want to be like.
That's cool.
That's what.
I mean, you still got to show your face a little.
Yeah,
bit,
I mean, I can show my face.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna have like,
you got
barbecue
to
sauce.
tell them how you like the food, like what's going on with it.
They're gonna see because it's gonna be food.
I got you. We're gonna make that happen.
Got you.
Mark's over here answering this phone call. But when we come back, we are gonna call Coach Fry and see if we can get him on the line. You know, he's the busiest man in show business. This is what he does. He's always out here making moves. We're gonna see if we can get him on the line. If not, hey, we got plenty more to discuss with y'all. It's always something to discuss. But hey, make sure you stay tuned right here on the Walk-Ons.
You see, I'm multitasking. Try to get some people.
Listen. This is what we do. This is what we do, bro. This is what we do.
Bomba clot fire.
When we come back, we're gonna try and get Coach Fry on the line with us. See what we can do for you.
Be back with the Walk-Ons.
I know, right?
AKA Butter My Roll.
Buddy your roll. Really? That's what we're gonna call it.
Yeah.
Butter My Roll Radio.
Can we do a freestyle? Free Thinkers Radio style?
Yeah, we about to bust it. You ready?
Y'all have fun with that.
Drop a beat. Drop a dope beat.
Let's see what beat we come back to. What'd you pick from the comeback music?
Yeah, what you pick? Nicki Minaj. Throw that Nicki on so everybody can hear how trash. I mean, how good that was.
So no Coach Harden.
Yeah. Brad Salter getting in here. 0-11. Come on, bro.
Brad Salter.
Yeah.
Thank
you know him?
I do know him, actually.
USC in the trash. They're going to be dumpster trash this year?
Wow. Don't be disrespectful.
Dumpster juice. We're down here at South Carolina University, dumpster juice.
Hey, Bud Light's giving out free beer for every time the Browns win a game.
Oh, wow.
They're going to be drunk this week, man.
No, they're not going to win no game.
I know.
Every time they win?
Every time they win.
They'll win some games.
Nobody going to be mad.
The Browns are going to be pretty good
You gonna
this
get
year.
2 or
You
3?
all watch it.
Hey,
Listen.
Over under on the Browns.
Hey, they
Over
gonna
on
be.
the Browns, I say over 6.
I say under 11.
Over 6.
Over 6?
I say
You saw me
under.
try to talk to Dez Bryant.
I say under 11.
Okay.
They try to get Dez Bryant on the team now.
I give them 4.
No, I say 6.
Listen,
I give them 4 wins.
and then he get
That's if he
injured.
come back.
Hold on, then he get injured.
Then he get Dez.
Then
How does that play out?
Then if he
6 or 7 wins.
then he
watch.
can't catch.
7-7.
4. Browns gonna win 4 games this year.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. Actually, I said 7-7. That's like what, 7-9? They play
7 to 9. That's
7-9.
playoffs.
There we go. So 7 games. Watch. They'll win 7 games this year. Mark my words again, guys.
I hear you, Robbie. I see you, Robbie.
I said Clemson will be a bust.
Wow.
And Cleveland Browns will win 7 games, 7-9. They
Did
won't go
you
to
say
playoffs.
something? Hold on, but what was
Both
the last
impossible.
prediction that you made that got a lot of attention from us?
I said South Carolina will win at least 9 games, and that did happen.
And you said Philly. You said Philly would
And
make the
Philadelphia
playoffs.
made the NBA playoffs.
You picked Carolina
And
beat
they-
Clemson last year at Carolina. I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Except for that. But at the end of the day, my predictions has been on point. Except for that one.
There's a couple of them too.
Nah, because the year before, because earlier,
I can't. We got to pull the archive.
Tony
Tony
somebody
Romo
else.
and the best top 10
best
quarterbacks.
quarterback.
Hold on, Wabi. Now, why you got to put that up?
I knew it was so.
Why
You
you
said
gotta
it.
put that up, man?
I knew it was so.
Own it.
Own it.
Everything was going good until you said
Own
that.
it.
Now I'm a 2-2.
I plead the fifth.
First of all, Tony Romo is a good broadcaster. shall I say.
He's a good blocker too.
Good blocker too. Once again, guys, make sure you tune in to our Facebook Live every Tuesday night starting at 8:00 p.m. And then make sure you comment and share. Even though it might not be live afterwards, you can still share the video on all your pages and such forth. And also, you can find us on our Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, SoundCloud. And then also, every Sunday at 7:00 p.m., if you're in the South Carolina area, Columbia area, you can go to Millennial FM.
95.9.
Okay.
Or go
Every
to
Sunday.
the website.
The website.
Listen live on any of the Free Thinkers shows. We got one every Sunday of the month.
Yes.
We just finished the Second Thoughts first episode. We had Opie as a guest in there.
Yeah.
Me and my man Dave. Hey, we got a surprise coming for y'all for September.
Surprise.
Can't tell you what it is yet,
Can't tell you.
but trust me, it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
If y'all
Shout out
don't know,
to SK and Shy, by the way. I'm sorry. Shout out to SK and Shot from Honest Dialogue. They came in too, and shout out to the homie Neek. She was here with us too. Listen,
Oh,
we was
fire.
rocking.
If y'all don't know about the Free Thinkers Millennial FM, it's going to consist of mini shows.
Yes.
So there might be one Sunday we might be on there. It might be Urban City. It might be just a bunch of freestyling. It could be about different other shows on there. So make sure, if you're here in Columbia area, once again, make sure you tune it to 93 point what?
95.9.
Lord have mercy. Jesus.
This week,
95.5.
I'm just saying Dre's
I'm
gonna
about
be
to say
on there.
95.3. Still the same station almost, but hey,
7 p.m.
Millennial FM. Make sure you tune
every
in.
Sunday.
Look, I think we ran through all the pick sixes. We can't get in touch with Coach Fry or Coach Baxter with River Bluff. I'm pretty sure that
They're
are
busy right now.
getting ready for the Friday night battle versus Fort Mill first game.
Coach Harden, I think it is.
Coach Harden, yes. So, but we're still gonna be there Friday night, 7:00, 7:15 will be the live broadcast, and then 7:30 for the kickoff between Fort Mill and River Bluff. I did saw just now Coach Bacon tune in, so I guess you try to get some.
Hey, shout out to Coach Bacon.
Spring Valley, I saw them.
Bacon.
Is that
They
Spring
look-
Valley?
Yeah, they look good. Except Skylar Mack, one of their linebackers, got injured. They won.
Oh.
They won 14-0 over a usually pretty good Newberry team, but they're of course Spring Valley's 5A, Newberry's about 2A, so they were
2,
just
3A, something
yeah.
like that.
So they're a little bit outmanned.
How do you forget a coach named Bacon? This is
Bacon is great for life. I don't trust people who don't like bacon.
bacon.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
Bacon.
Shoot, I might cook some bacon when I get home.
Listen,
Get
I'm
some
telling you.
loaded grits,
Bacon,
with bacon,
bacon,
and bell peppers.
bacon.
Listen,
High five.
Bacon is
Listen.
overrated.
You missed
Wow,
it.
boy, you said
you had a terrible top 10 for tailgating, but that right there sounds good.
We'll do another one.
We'll
next
do
week,
another one.
promise.
Oh, so y'all heard about Ben Roethlisberger got a concussion at practice today?
Well, what's new?
He slimmed down. He lost 10 pounds. Ready for
How
the
much?
season,
How much
so
longer does he
gets
have?
He gets to miss the rest of the preseason. So
How many championships you got? 3?
Is it 3?
3?
See, if
he's
my
not
man Mike
nearly
was
the
watching, he would
mentor
know.
that he got mentored by the quarterback that was starting that was mentoring him. He was a great great mentor to him, but now he's not being quite as good a mentor to that Mason Rudolph, now the
South Carolina native.
South Carolina native and Oklahoma State rookie.
Boy, there's all kinds of
So
stuff
he
going on in
doesn't-
the world.
yeah.
The dude from the former MLB pitcher out here getting life in prison for smuggling tons of cocaine.
Esteban
He was
Loaiza.
he was pitching in the league.
He was pitching for
and
real.
pitching coke.
Wow.
James Harden linked
That's a
to
lot
a
to be
nightclub
good-
fight and a woman got beat up at. Bruce Bowen out as a Clippers TV analyst after making negative comments about Kawhi Leonard in June. Listen.
Hold on, wait. Let's back that up.
Which
so,
one?
We just gonna pick on Bruce Bowen when your girl just went out there and was just.
We got a phone call, guys.
We got a phone call? Hey.
We do. Guess who it is?
Oh, coach.
It's gonna be Coach Fry. Keep talking.
Coach Fry, what it is,
What's
man?
going on,
Appreciate you,
Coach?
man. Appreciate you, Coach.
So you hear the
I know
phone
you-
ring?
You always say that.
Nah, man, y'all off there?
No,
No.
we're still
On
on
there.
there. We
Keeping
got-
it real.
We got a few more minutes.
What you got for us,
Oh.
Coach?
Man, how did things go? Did you get a kid something this weekend?
I got to do something with them. They came out, man, and showed unbelievable support. The people didn't have the grill, so I couldn't feed them, so I had to bring them out somewhere and do something for them, man. They did an excellent job.
Hey, man, I just want to know that the kids in Columbia, did they have a good time?
They had a great time, man. It was a wall-to-wall event, packed out. The sheriff was there. Chief Deputy James was there. I'm probably saying it wrong, but he was there, so it was a great atmosphere.
Well, I'm just glad that you guys are giving back to the community, keeping it real. People talk about things, but I like LeBron James for building a school, and finding out Michael Jordan has been doing things, hadn't said nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just believe people better toot the horn, so that other people will admire people for what they do, and then they'll go out and do something to emulate them instead of dribbling the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to start talking about it when you do something good. So I want to give my hats off to you guys
All right,
for
appreciate you.
doing good, so that somebody else hears about you doing it, and we just got to challenge them to try to outdo you guys.
I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I really appreciate you getting the guys out, coming out there and supporting us and doing that. It was great to do something for the kids and give something back and have a great turnout like we did. It was just outstanding.
Hey, Coach.
I'm glad the police came out too. Instead of arresting everybody, they was out there trying to keep from having a chance to arrest people. So that's what keeping it real. Those are kind of things that we do with the Fry Foundation. We go out with our LLC and start companies, and we go out and try to get people to be involved with diabetes and mental illness. But you guys are giving books and things so people can educate their mind, and then in turn, when they learn, they won't be having the downs and lows because they're being employed.
Hey, Coach, you are a big golf fan, so how you feel about Tiger Woods' performance this past weekend, the PGA Championship?
Let's get it real. Tiger Woods put golf back into the mainstream. You know, even the people that hate on Tiger Woods love to see what he did this weekend.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, there's 11 times that he didn't even hit the fairway, but he still put the ball on the green, and he didn't have nothing but one bogey. Hey, he shot 54 holes, the best 54 holes in his career. 4 under par, below any level he shot before. If he hadn't had a bad last Thursday on the first day and shot 70, he'd have been blown away.
True.
So
you think Tiger's back?
He was back that day.
It's all that
Got to wait till next year for another major,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, golf is not a kind game, and he got to have that kind of atmosphere. I think those people, with St. Louis, I think that, you know, that's something that kind of pumped him up, and that part of the country needed to see Tiger Woods after some of the bigotry and hatred and stuff that occurred. Some things like that causes people to come out. This week, when we have a week like where last year people celebrated in Charlottesville, Virginia, we need to see images of things, Tiger coming back after having his downfall with his marriage and stuff like that. We're a forgiving country. Like, we'll forgive the people that ran that lady over in Charlottesville, and we'll keep it moving, baby.
Awesome. Coach Fry, thank you for tuning in, man. And we will talk to you next week, all right?
Hey, love and keep it real.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Coach.
Back to school, guys.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
we got back to school. No killings this year. No
killings.
shootings.
Yeah, let's have none
We
of those
back
this
to
year.
school.
I'm gonna call you,
Hey,
Coach Fry.
Bring Prairie back to
Thanks a
church.
lot, guys.
No, thank
I
you.
appreciate everything you do.
All right.
Thank you, Coach. All right.
Everybody
Bye-bye.
on the table, we got Gary,
All right.
Robbie, myself,
We're out.
Chris, and Opie. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next Tuesday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Make sure you tune in Friday night, 7:15 p.m. on Spreaker, and then 7:30 for the kickoff of high school game day between Fort Mill and River Bluff. See y'all soon, everybody.
Swamp
All right.
Fox.
Swamp Fox.